Hi guys, welcome to Guru channel. So in this video, we are going to discuss about hysteresis loop or hysteresis curve. Hysteresis loop is a very important characteristics if we are going to select a magnetic material. So before going to the video, so please watch the content of other videos. If you like the content, do subscribe the channel. So coming to hysteresis loop, so here I am going to explain hysteresis loop with the concept of magnetic dipoles. So first we will see what is the general meaning of a hysteresis. So hysteresis means a lag between input and output in a system upon the change in the direction of the input. So in general, hysteresis means it is a lag between input and output upon the change in direction of the input. So here for a magnetic material, hysteresis is a property by virtue of which the magnetic flux density, nothing but the output, is lags behind the input, that is the magnetizing force. So if you see here, the magnetic flux density is nothing but magnetic flux density is magnetic flux per unit area for a magnetic material, that we will know, and the magnetizing force H is equal to magnetomotive force Ni by L, magnetomotive force per unit length. So here the magnetic flux density is directly proportional to the flux generated in a magnetic material, and the magnetizing force is directly proportional to the input, because the others are constant, number of turns are constant, length is constant, here the area is constant. So that's why here the output magnetic flux density is directly proportional to the flux, and the input magnetomotive force, magnetizing force, is directly proportional to the input. So with the help of this, so now we will explain the hysteresis loop. So for a hysteresis loop, nothing but it is a curve between the relation between the input and output. So here the input is magnetizing force, that is equal to Ni by L, and the output is magnetic flux density, that is equal to phi by A. So if you take a magnetic material, nothing but a simple ferromagnetic material, an iron piece, a solid iron piece, so like this. So initially in a magnetic material there are magnetic dipoles which are in a random direction. So those magnetic dipoles will not have any particular alignment, so they will exist in a random direction. Then the flux generated by one dipole cancelled by another dipole, the net flux generated by, so this magnetic material is zero. So that's why initially if you take any magnetic material, that will not act as a magnet until we are energizing with a electric source, until we are giving a magnetomotive force. The magnetomotive force can be given by using a DC source connected like this. So here we are connecting with the help of a rheostat in order to vary the input. So here in a magnetic material we are wound with a wire and we are connecting a DC source. So here the current is flowing like this. So this is the direction of the current. So when a current is flowing, there will be a magnetomotive force, that is equal to H is equal to Ni by L. So this magnetomotive force will motivate the dipoles to orient in a particular direction. So initially, so these magnetic dipoles are in a random direction. So whenever we are energizing the magnetic material with the help of the magnetomotive force, so then these dipoles starts to orient in a particular direction like this. So if these dipoles are oriented in a particular direction, so then there will be an establishment of flux. So like this, there will be an establishment of flux. So that will be, so I'm considering for a current of 1 ampere, there will be an establishment of, so 1 milliweber. So initially the dipoles are in a random direction, so then the flux is equal to 0, the current is 0, input is 0, output is 0. So now I am applying a current of 1 ampere, the magnetic dipoles are oriented, and then the flux is created. So for 1 ampere it is 1 milliweber, so 1 milliweber. Similarly, if I increasing the current to 2 amperes, 3 amperes, the flux is also increases to 2 milliweber, 3 milliweber. So like this, the flux is also increases linear up to some point. At some point, all the dipoles in the magnetic material are oriented in a particular direction. Nothing but there are no more dipoles to orient in a particular direction. All the dipoles are oriented in the particular direction. That means the magnetic material is saturated. There are no more dipoles to orient in a particular direction. The flux is constant. That we will call it as the B max or phi max. That point we will call it as the saturation point, because there are no more dipoles to orient in a particular direction. So like this, initial part of the hysteresis curve exists like this. Initially, the magnet dipoles are in a random direction, then there will be no flux, then phi is equal to 0, I is equal to 0. If you are applying the current, the magnetic motive force will motivate the magnetic dipoles to orient in a particular direction. If the magnetic dipoles are oriented, then the flux increases with respect to the increase in the input, like this. But at some point, all the dipoles are oriented in a particular direction. There are no more dipoles to orient in a particular direction, so that we will call it as the saturation point. So now, so what I am doing is I am changing the terminals of the supply, because the hysteresis means it is a relation between input and it is the lag between input and output upon change in the direction of the input. So that's why I am changing the direction of the input, that is nothing but the current. So now the current is flowing like this, you can see here. So now the current flows in a reverse direction, then the magnetomotive force becomes negative. So these dipoles also now starts orient in opposite direction, because the magnetomotive force is opposite. So that's why the magnetic dipoles starts to orient in opposite direction. So then the flux will decreases. So now the curve will flow like this. But at some point here, there will be some flux, that we will call it as the retentivity. There is the some dipoles, they will not come to random direction even though there will be no magnetizing force. If the current is 0, even though the current is 0, some flux, nothing but around some 1.5 milliwebers of flux is existing, because some of the dipoles are not came to random direction. They will remain in the particular direction only. So that we will call it as remanence or retentivity or residual flux. In order to make these dipoles to come in random direction, not random direction means in order to make the flux is equal to 0, we have to apply some other extra magnetizing force. So that we will call it as the coercivity. So this is the magnetizing force required to make the flux is equal to 0. So that we will call it as the coercivity. So this is the positive half of the cycle. The remaining, the negative is also existing like this. So if you keep on increasing the magnetic motive force in negative directions. Now all the dipoles now orient in opposite direction, like south and north, south and north. Now the flux will establish in a opposite direction. We will hit the negative saturation, so like this, same as positive saturation. So likewise, by changing the direction of the input, the output flux lags the input. So that we will call it as the hysteresis nature of the magnetic material. So that is because of the movement of the magnetic dipoles. These magnetic dipoles will not move instantaneously with respect to the input. So that's why these lag exist. That we will call it as the hysteresis. So now you can see, so this is the hysteresis. At this point the flux is equal to 0 initially, and the magnetizing force or the input current is equal to 0. If you are increasing the current, the magnetic dipoles starts to orient in a particular direction. At some point all the dipoles are in a particular direction, that we will call it as the saturation. There are no more dipoles to orient in a particular direction. So now we are decreasing the current. Even though the current is 0, some dipoles or remain in that particular direction. Because of that, some dipoles we have some residual flux, that we will call it as the retentivity or residual flux. In order to make that residual flux to 0, we have to give additional magnetizing force in opposite direction. So that strength we will call it as the coercivity. So similarly, if we are increasing magnetizing force, keep on increasing magnetizing force in negative direction, it will hit the negative saturation. Now the dipoles will oriented 180 degrees in opposite direction. Here the magnetic dipoles may be south north. So in positive, the magnetic dipoles will be in a north and south. Like that, the magnetic dipoles will orient 180 degrees here. And then if you are decreasing the current, the magnetic dipoles starts to orient in random direction, but some of the dipoles will remain in a particular direction. Because of that, the residual flux will exist. To make that residual flux to 0, we have to apply the additional positive magnetizing force, that we will call it as the coercivity. So like that, so these suggestion, these hysteresis loop will create. Because of the movement of the magnetic dipoles inside the magnetic material. At positive Bmax, so these are the magnetic dipoles. At negative Bmax, so these magnetic dipoles will have to orient 180 degrees, like this, 180 degrees. For positive Bmax, they have to rotate 180 degrees. So like that. So for our supply, that is nothing but 50 Hz. Our incoming supply will make 50 cycles per second. That means, so these magnetic dipoles have to rotate 50 times per minute. So that will generate heat loss, that we will call it as the hysteresis loss. That hysteresis loss is nothing but the area of the area occupied by this hysteresis loop. The main advantage of hysteresis loop are, so this hysteresis loop is used to select a particular magnetic material for a particular application. The smaller hysteresis loop area symbolizes the less hysteresis loss, because smaller area means the magnetic dipoles are somewhat responding instantaneously with respect to the input. There is a small lag. Small hysteresis loop means there is a small lag. So hysteresis loop provides the value of retentivity and the value of coercivity. So these two are important to choose a perfect material to make a permanent magnet, or the core of a machines, like a generator or a motor or a transformer. So from BH curve, the residual magnetism can be determined, and thus choosing a magnetic material for electromagnetism is easy. So these are the advantages of the hysteresis loop.